death claws have appeared in every Fallout game from the very beginning, and thankfully Hearts of Iron 4 Old World Blues is no different. Well, unfortunately, there is no Deathclaw-led nation right now, but there are 3 nations in the base game that can field them as units, and if you have ECR installed, there's a 4th. Let's start off in alphabetical order with the executives, which can get them as immediate creature tech for the special forces, otherwise known as the Alpha Deathclaws. Then we also have the sleepers up top here, which you can take all the way up to sophisticated, but does take quite a while to get there, and you have to follow a very specific path. Then we have Persunt down here to the south. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they are actually the only nation that can field them from the start. And despite what many people think, if you create their formable nation, you can go to intermediate tech as well. And of course, last but not least, if you have ECR installed, we have Raven Rock. Now, I have decided to play as the executives to show off, or hopefully show off, what the Deathclaws are all made of. So, let's get started. So, before I get started with our normal nation setup, like I normally do, let me explain how I envision this playthrough to go through. I want to split it up into 3 parts. So, the first part will be my way of showing how to deal with our friend Lanius over here, and capturing some surrounding nations, as well as unlocking the unit Deathclaws that we can use. The second part, or the part 2 of the playthrough, will concentrate on mainly going through all of the executives' war goals, which include taking on the arch nemesis here, the Texan Brotherhood. And then for the third part, I'm going to do some vault diving to hopefully get the Vault Dweller achievement. So, with that said and done, let's get started. If you didn't know, the executives are the last branch of Vault-Tec left alive in the wasteland. And they're a bit of a mean bunch, especially this Chief Executive McKinley, your leader of your nation. They used to be just a raider nation before they got the unique tree, and the devs kept some of that ruthlessness in this playthrough. But let's get started. So, like I said, Chief Executive McKinley is in charge. We do have some unique centralization laws here with bosses make the rules, as well as quite a few unique advisors to hire. Not necessarily the best ones, but definitely some unique ones. Then, apart from that, national spirit, we start off with legacy of experimentation, so research speed plus 10%, and medical research speed plus 20% on top of that. Then we have memories of the FEV exploitation, which 10% more agriculture speed, and then the legacy of Centurion Paulus, which most of the nations surrounding us have this problem. Division speed's down. Army experience goes up every day, which is quite nice. Defense is down, but that affects everybody. Diplomacy minus 40%, but that doesn't really work unless you got turned on. And also appeal to refugees doesn't really work unless you've got it turned on. But this will be removed by August 2276. So not too much of a problem there. Decision-wise, as I said, raider nation, so we can still launch raids. I'm not going to. And then I will be starting a scavenging program. I'll explain now when I get to the tech. But otherwise, it's just the normal stuff, except for here, business negotiations with some of the majors that can get around us, basically giving us non-aggression pacts. And then this is what I'll be covering in part 3, where we do some vault diving. I need to do 10 of these to get the achievement. Can have a intelligence agency, but not right now. Don't have the factories. Now, let's start off with the good stuff. Research. So we have 4 research slots. I have, well, before I get into that, let's look at our tech levels. So we have intermediate on all our weapons, basic on vehicles, And robotics intermediate. No creatures yet. We have to unlock that via the focus tree. This is what sucks. Only basic on aircraft. So that's why I want to do the scavenging. I'm hoping to, fingers crossed, that I can actually unlock that. It's very rare, but it is possible sometimes. Basic on naval, not worried. But here's a nice one. Sophisticated on industry, electronics, construction, and exploitation. This is going to be nice. Now, what have I got things set up for? So, starting off with my normal warrior training so I can get my divisions out a little bit faster. Then I have some bicycles. I need to get this tech unlocked for my supply later on. And then I'm doing my normal industry. Now, we do start off with quite a few unlocked here already. I am starting off with, should be this one here, work as needed. Oh no, forgot. We're a Vault-Tec nation, so this block is unlocked here. So I'm getting Vault-Tec healthcare to start off straight from the bat with 50% extra monthly population. And then lastly, Ohm's Law to boost my research speed. Now, for those of you that know this research tree and know the focus tree and know what's coming, don't be upset with this. I'm going to explain a trick to you. So that's research done. For construction, now to beat our friend Lanius here, we are going to follow the well-known and respected tactic of attacking him early. I'll lead you how to go through that. Many people say you should just build 2 bunkers, but unless you take specific advisors, you will battle to finish those before you declare war on him, and if it's not finished, it means nothing. The reason why they say you want 2 bunkers is because you want the 32% attack penalty for Lanius to give you extra defense. But you can get that by building 1 bunker and 2 outposts, and doing it this way is faster, and I don't need to take specific advisors. I can get it just normally. And then I'm just boosting my last 2 building slots with some civilian factories. For production, I have changed nothing. Start with 5 factories, 4 on guns, 1 on Vault-Tec power armor, which is unlocked from the start, so I'm sticking with that. Then let's have a look at our starting divisions. We have, I didn't cancel anything, so we have the boys, 15 with power armor, quite nice. Then we have Vault-Tec security, 10 with infantry, nice and basic, and these ones have some unique names, so that's good too. We also have light robot divisions unlocked from the start. Not going to bother making that because I'm going to be using deathclaws and insects instead. And then lastly, we have the interns, which are our militia unit. So I actually won't be using them either. So we're going to disable that one. And let's have a look at what we start off with. We have 4 units, 1 power armor, 2 infantry, and 1 militia. So first thing I'm going to do is change this militia to an infantry. And they'll move up here and start training. What else is there for me really to go through? The focus tree, of course. So let's do that. So first of all, we're starting off with hedging investments. We came from humble beginnings, only the greatest company on earth. And we can get that event in 7 days. So hedging investments. Before the big one where the world decided to shoot itself to death, Vault-Tec was one of the greatest companies in the world. The greatest if you asked anyone with half a brain. Best corporate leaders, the world's smartest scientists, with the world's smartest scientists under them. No wonder the old bosses of America left the future up to us. We built the vaults, invented a couple of hundred new technologies, give or take a few, and we're more than ready for the end. Honestly, you can thank us for there being anyone left. We had to keep some things proprietary though, and that's why we built a vault in secret, and that we call the corporate vault now. It had all the best facilities, best staff, and the best executive leadership. It even had a supply of FEV we had acquired without anyone knowing. Everything was going great and research was booming. Electric weapons, controlled bioweapons, and unique security robots, supercomputers, Tesla armors, and we had amazing things cooking. We also had the luxuries brought in before the bombs dropped, including So an arsenal of pre-war weapons, 100 common weaponry, 150 basic laser. The focus tree does force you down laser weaponry here. Sorry for anybody that likes ballistic. The finest in pre-war medicine. This is quite nice. Division speed plus 5% and minus 5 to experience soldier losses. I would love to take this if I didn't have a war happening very soon. Or we have a library of pre-war books. So war support goes down, but electronics and industry research speed both get a boost of 10 and 5% respectively. But as I said, and as you know, I've got a war coming, so I need to get units for that. And to get the units, I need equipment. So, arsenal of pre-war weapons for me, please. And then next we have stocks at an all-time low. Hard times eventually come for everyone, and we had the hardest of all. And we're going to get stocks at all-time low in 7 days. Stocks at an all-time low. Someone's always got to start shit though and ruin a good thing. For us, it was the bleeding heart fucking rat named Blake. He lost his mind over us testing FEV and radiation on live subjects, as if there's anything to gain from testing on corpses. Anyway, his dumbass sparked an organizational conflict that almost got everybody killed and wrecked half the vault before fucking off to play Preacher Man for zombies. Those of us left had to huddle up in the parts of the vault that survived, with his cult lurking around on the surface keeping an eye on us. We hadn't recovered by the time that green freak Attis and the bosses of Steel showed up to fight over us. Word had gotten around about our FEV, probably because of Blake, and the mutants had some, I think, supposed to become, looking to steal it in the hopes of making some super mutant babies. The Steel pricks weren't far behind, looking to kill the mutants. Only favor either of them did us was bumping off Blake and his bunch of his church. By the time their fight was over, the vault had been blown sky high and we were left refugees. We did manage to carry away, apart from a nice picture of Fallout 76, extra prototype armor suits, 100 pieces of power armor, almost everyone who's left, man plus power plus 400, and then alcohol reserves, 60k in bottle caps. Money, no. Manpower, you're pretty good. So, building units, I need the extra power armor. Then lastly, for our development chain, we have line goes up. We're bouncing back now. Despite everything the world threw at us, we're coming back with a vengeance. Line goes up. It's been a while since the old vault went tits up and we've had to make a lot of changes to survive. Science had to take a backseat. The eggheads weren't exactly able to think away monsters, starvation, and hostile competitors. So we did what we had to. Security took the lead. Admin and research had to suck it up and listen. To make sure the meanest motherfucker was in charge, we started the Hostile Takeover. Every year, someone can challenge the CEO to a winner-takes company battle. The loser gets downsized. That means dead, I think. And it's worked. We've carved out a place topside thanks to our tech and some cutthroat business tactics on the part of security. Local towns are now franchised under us and pay a cut to their goods and caps. We take whatever else we need. And we've even built up a new vault to work out of. The wasters call us the executives now, and that's good as anything else. It would be shameful to call ourselves Vault-Tec in these conditions. The new CEO is a nasty piece of work named McKinley, and she's already several years into her tenure as chief executive. She's gone out of her way to increase funding for the science division and even started up experiments again. The first one was a real doozy. So, turns out you do only need one grenade to kill a deathclaw from the inside. Did you know Butcher Pete repeated enough times can drive ghouls feral? Or we learned that a super mutant can bend steel given enough psycho. This all gives the same thing, -2 manpower and +10 war support. Since we're doing deathclaws, I'm choosing the deathclaw one. Now comes the time to open up our tree and have a look. First of all, I want to comment on, let me show the branches first. So on the left we have our construction. Here we have more military. This is got to do with our research. You can see, and then they're all interlinked to the bottom for exploring vaults down here. Then we have our military side of things. So the central tree that goes all the way down is about our war goals and stuff. And then we have the choices here once we get back to our home turf, whether to go deathclaws or power armor. You know which way we're going there. Now, about the Ohm's law thing that I mentioned when I was talking about research. Downloading RAND. This focus here has a nice boost that currently adds the technology for Ohm's law. Some people think that it is fixed. So by me researching Ohm's law, I'm missing out a little bit on the focus tree. But what actually happens is as you research all of these, it actually jumps to the next one on the focus tree. So for example, if I have miniaturized circuitry research, I can actually unlock advanced circuitry for free. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Okay, so now what am I going to choose? Now, this would be nice, but this doesn't give you any units, just gives you some perks and all that kind of stuff. You can't really unlock anything military-wise until the fight with Lanius is over. And most importantly, we need to get those defenses built. So we're going to do the construction side to start off with. So starting off with the Vault maintenance teams. While vaults are highly automated and built to high standards, there'd be nothing left but rusted corridors without the Vault-Tec maintenance team. It's time we've encouraged our young dwellers to take up their soldering tools and join the team to keep the vault on a steady track to perfection. So this is going to give me 8 scrap metal, and Vault maintenance teams gives another 10% to my production efficiency retention. Fortunately, it's going to take 45 days, but that's the way it is. Alright, so Lanius has started his war against the Blue Rose Society. Now, this is something important that I need to show because I've seen this question asked on Reddit. If, let's imagine I had the political power and I wanted to declare or justify my war on him, it would take me 270 days to do so. But if you wait until Roswell is taken, but before the war is over, that cuts the time down by half. So let's just watch this happen. Hopefully it won't take too long. If you don't mind taking Roswell, please, so I can show everybody what I'm talking about. There we go. So they've taken Roswell, but the war's still on. Now, justify my war goal on the capital as I like to do. Not only does it cost half, but it's now 135 days. This is the option you want to take, because if you wait too long, it's too late. So wait until they have taken Roswell, then automatically save and start your justification. If you wait until the war's over, it goes back up to 270 as well as double the price, and you've lost even more time. You do not want to fight Lanius over this border here in the north after he takes out the Summers Federation. You want to fight over the single tile right here. Ooh, that was quick. Scrap bicycles unlocked. So the next piece of tech I want to unlock for future use is the anti-tank rifle, so I can get my combined arms platoons. There we go. Vault's maintenance teams is unlocked. Now this is where you need to take a bit of a pause and see what situation you are in. I got quite lucky in that expanding the vault here will increase my infrastructure in planes runners by 2, and that is where I am building my defenses. Increasing that infrastructure will increase my build time, and I'm going to prove it. So this is going to 3rd of August 2275 is currently with my current infrastructure and civilian workshops. Okay, remember that, 3rd of August. So I'm going to take expanding the vaults. If you don't get lucky like I did, because this does change, then you want to do conveyor belts for the extra civilian workshops. But this will boost me more, so expanding the vaults it is. Our residential facilities are quickly filling up and will soon have no more space for future generations. It would be wise to begin excavating future real estate if we wish to avoid crisis. So 3 building slots and planes runners, but this is what I want, the extra 2 infrastructure. Now, remember that, 3rd of August. Warrior training is finished, so I'm going to jump straight into the next one here, militia training, because I want the extra 5% boost in my frontline platoons. Something I should have mentioned, but I keep on forgetting to, is as my units become fully equipped, I've been adding on another one, and I will continue doing this basically until the war starts. I want to get as many units out as possible, but if I just did, let's say, 10 here, the game would try to equally equip them all at the same time, to try release them all at the same time. But I want them as fast as possible, so I have to do a bit of micromanaging here, and that means I have to do this as they go. So for this one, example, they need 11 more guns, and then I'll start the third queue over here. Ohm's law's finished. That means I can do my normal snaking method and now get combat language. And just to prove the point I was making earlier, where's it now? Downloading RAM. Now I can get the technology resistor added for free. So as I said, the more you research, the more it actually helps you later on by getting other tech for free. Expanding the vault is done, and let's have a look. Yes, the 3rd of August has now changed into the 21st of July this year. So adding the 2 of infrastructure, you can see clearly how much that helps. Now, next one to do is machine over man for the extra 2 civilian workshops. Our data analysts have calculated that by replacing some of our production line with purpose-built protectrons, we can nearly double our efficiency. Who needs a pesky laborers that ask for vacations and can't even work 24 hours a day? So, Caprock, 2 extra civilian factories. Let's go. Combat language done. So now let's move on and get some reference manuals so I can get more intel on my enemies. Then it's time to spend some political power. What am I going to do? I'm going to get my all-time favorite, the Golden Gecko, for more political power, more stability, and more caps. So that's done, and also we have more than enough, what's this one called again, command power, to add some traits onto my unit leaders. So, Miss McKinley here, I'm going to give her rooted for some more entrenchment and entrenchment speed, and then savage leader to give us some more breakthrough. Then for my unit leader here, I am currently using power armor, so pain train for him, and then Mysterious Stranger for the infantry. I've actually got my first unit out, the first citizen security here. That was the training. Going to add another one on while I'm here. No, not yet. Machine over man is finished, so now it's time to get the last construction little boost, and that is conveyor belts. A steady flow of production is key to keeping our dwellers happy and our vault profitable. If we want to ensure we are titans of industry in the wasteland, we'll have to assign more of our real estate to highly advanced and automated workshops. So, 1 times research bonus for industry technology, and in Frogman we get an extra civilian workshop. Vault Healthcare is done. They gave me a nice boost in monthly population. Now, because I started off with improvised tools and up to level 2 in construction and resource gain efficiency, I'm going to go for work as needed for more for more factory output, more factories that I can have, and another 2% to my recruitable population. Actually, how much is left here? 2 days. Let's just keep this clock running, and boom. There we go. Nicely timed there. Reference manual done. Now to get some secret language so that my enemies learn less about me. Secret language is also finished. Let's carry on snaking around and get some smoke signals. And something I probably should have mentioned right at the beginning of the game, I must apologize. Lanius has just taken over the former archdiocese up top here in the north. And what I should have said is, if he goes north during your game as executives, you might want to actually just restart, because if he's going north, the chances are he's doing summers after that, and you won't have enough time and you'll be screwed. But thankfully he followed the more predictable route and went south first, so I'm still in the game. Anti-tank rifles are finished researching. Now, they will be more useful later on in my mid to late game, but not right now. Besides, if I have to build them, I'll mess up my production completely. I'm now going to go for Scout Kit. Not for this, it's because I want to get to the power armor so I can start unlocking these passive bonuses wherever I can. Conveyor belts is done, as so is my justification against Lanius. Now it's important to take a look at whatever date you get. So for me, this expires on the 15th of September this year. So before midnight on the 15th of September, I need to declare war on Lanius so we can get that going. Now, how's my defenses going, you may ask? Currently, my last outpost will be finished on the 26th of September. But that hasn't taken into consideration this villain factory, so hopefully that will shave off the 9 days that I need to get it finished in time. We'll have to check up on that. But now, as for the next focus, if you weren't going for deathclaws like I am, then I would suggest you start investing into your Vault-Tec security teams to get some nice more arms workshops and all that kind of stuff. I am very tempted to do this, but I do want to start unlocking the creatures. So I'm going to go for business is good. So the executives have ruled in their little pocket of New Mexico for decades, pushed out of the corporate vault by the efforts of Attis and the initiate long ago. They have since enjoyed a cushioned life harassing unsuspecting populace. To McKinley's regime, business has become better than ever, but when faced with rumors of the Legion moving east, things may be changing for the worst. So, 50 extra political power, 50,000 bottle caps. This one only takes 30 days. That's good. Business is indeed good. Now, I may not be able to get my death clause just yet, but I can get a different type of creature with insects. So that is in this branch over here. So I'm going to go with lethal layoffs right now. Many of the executives are freeloaders, the sort that can hang around for a paycheck and don't respond nicely to a call to action, even with a team meeting or proper sort of pep talk to get things going. Why don't we promote the sort that matter and lay off the bad eggs permanently? So, gain base stability plus 5%. That's going to be very nice. My commanding officer and all 3 of my unit leaders are going to get +1 to their attack skill, and we'll have the event lethal layoffs in 30 days. And that extra 50 political power that I got came just in time, because now I get to take a lovely new economy law, well-equipped army. So you start with Wasteland, and you can see all the red here. Everything just takes 30% slow to build, and it's a pain in the bum. And you lose 30% of your consumer factory, civilian workshops for consumer goods. With well-equipped army, that goes down to only 20%, and now your construction of your military factories goes up actually 40%, and your civilian by 30%. So, winning with this one. So we're going to take that and then carry on. And here we have the first of the random events that you get with this playthrough, scientific process. Chief Research Officer Jeanette Carter removed her goggles and gloves as she left the medical research wing. Behind her strode the executive CEO McKinley. I'm not convinced this is the best use of captive mutants. You know those don't grow in hydroponics. McKinley shrugged. She was used to these kinds of complaints. I actually have no fucking idea where they come from. That California place some of them scream about, maybe. Besides, what could be more useful than knowing how to break their bones? Expiratedly, Carter turned around and answered, maybe how the immunity to radiation works, or maybe their resistance to infection. Maybe ways to make docile laborers out of them. I can imagine a number of more useful things. You're having too much fun, ma'am, she added the honorific after a delay. McKinney's heavy hand slapped down on Carter's shoulder. I'm having fun? You want me bored? You know what I'm like when I'm bored, and you're fucking lucky I like you. Talking to me like that. You should watch your tone. I'll remember, at least in public. Minus 5% to my base stability. Damn it. And we have our first Hostile Takeover event. Remember when they spoke about every year someone could challenge the CEO? Well, this will happen around beginning of September every year. So I'll only read this the first time. The annual Hostile Takeover will soon start, and Security Chief Eric Smith entered the prep room occupied by McKinney. They waited a moment for a technician to finish adjusting the actuators on her power armor before McKinney dismissed the staff to speak in private. The conversation they had was something of a yearly tradition for the two now. They had said much the same things the year before and the year before that. Ready, boss? Smith leaned against the console, scanning his CEO's armor for any weak points that may have been missed and finding none. Always ready. What do you make of this year's ladder climber? Young, strong, blunt, dumb. Everything's above board. Good, let's do this. She flexed her armor, testing the field before heading out of the room with Smith in tow. In a few short minutes, she proceeded to beat her challenger to death with her hammer. See you all next year. And we get +1 stability and -1 manpower. Alright, I have left this as long as I dare. It is now 1 o'clock in the morning on the 15th of September 2275. My war goal literally expires today. And believe me if I tell you, if I miss this, probably before the end of September, Lanius is going to declare his war on Fort Summers, and it'll all be too late. Now, I have got myself up to 8 units. I have doubled it. 2 more almost ready to go. And I am going to declare my war. Now, I look quite lucky here because things are quite lightly defended. Normally, what you want to do here is just hold the line. Literally for about a year. And I'm going to do exactly that. Because even though there's only 3 here, you'll know if you start with Lanius, he starts with 23 units. So with my 8, if I extend outwards, very soon I will probably get overwhelmed. So my guys are entrenched, my defenses are built. I am going to be staying here basically until I unlock all the perks for the insects. So I'll probably be behind my defenses for about a year. But need to declare my war. This will stop Lanius from going to war with Summers Federation. And we're just going to hold the line here for a while. Lethal layoffs. Now, this is going to be quite a long one for me to go through, so just bear with me. So it's been a while since we had any performance reviews. Things got a little hectic with all those bull colors and their daddy tried, when those bull colors and their daddy tried to force through that merger after all. McKinney addressed those gathered below her, standing in full armor atop a tall scaffold that had been assembled in the remains of an enormous pre-war hangar, with most of the building shrouded in deep shadows. Looking up at her were a number of regular interns and employees, but her attention was on the 7 managers who stood apart and grew increasingly nervous with each word she uttered. Their weapons and power armor had been taken from them upon arrival, before each was given a cloth painted with the bright red Vault-Tec logo. I won't blow any smoke up your asses. You're here because none of you are meeting my expectations. Not enough killer instinct, not enough hustle, not enough synergized solutions, too much time spent playing Pip-Boy games on the shitter. Sharon. I'm sure any of you really want to be part of the Vault-Tec family anymore, so it's clearly time for some real leadership. We need to pull together with a team of dismantling exercise. Now, the 7 managers were downright frightened, stealing glances at the mob of employees behind them who looked back with their weapons at the ready and excited smiles. McKinley gestured into the darkness and a series of lights switched on to reveal the rest of the hangar. It had been converted into an elaborate obstacle course complete with walls to climb, ties to run through, ropes to swing on, and a tall flagpole at the end. McKinley had made sure the interns had filled it with a number of special touches, including bear traps hidden in the ties, grease pits full of teeming rugbats for the ropes to swing over, The final approach to the flagpole was guarded by a chained super mutant who'd be given a sledgehammer and a promise of freedom should he manage to kill any of the runners. Designing the course had been a relaxing pastime for the CEO of the executives over the last month, and she was quite excited to see it in action. Oh, this woman's mental. Okay. The excitement was clear in her voice when she returned her attention to the unfortunate managers below. It's simple enough. Get to the end and run your flag up the pole. First one who gets it, who makes it gets to keep their job. The rest get downside. Consider this your last chance to interview for your position, and don't forget to have fun. An evil smile crept across her face under the helmet as McKinley shouted, "Go!" Where did Sharon get that knife from? Okay, civility +3, manpower -45. Alright, nothing happening right now, but I'm not being fooled because I don't have the numbers. I'm looking for at least 15, maybe 20 units here. Next, I'm going to go over, where's it gone now? Here we go. The Call of Science. From the lowest intern to the highest echelons of executive power, all those with the spirit of Vault-Tec in their blood feel the call of experimentation, but not everyone agrees on how to go about it. When you get the event, fight for your thesis. Militia training is done, so that's more defense. Now, you might be surprised to hear this. I'm not going to be doing crowd control here. I'm not going to use it for this playthrough, not for my units, and not for my Garrison units. More to follow as this video continues. I'm actually going to get started on basic laser weaponry. Why? Because as I've mentioned, the focus tree does force you down the laser weaponry path, but also I really want some more piercing. I can't build much, what's the word I'm looking for, anti-tank weapons right now, and I need my armor XP for something else, so I need this boost, because these damn chariots, whenever Lanius decides to attack me, he hasn't yet, they can be a bit of a pain to pierce. Time to fight for your thesis, and this is an important one. Carter crossed her arms and said simply, "I want full control over the Rad Bug project. Full control, no rushing." McKinney swigged down the last of a beer and replied, "Aren't you happy you get to work on the fucking bugs at all? You can throw as many slaves and interns on it as you want. Leslie is already in a coma after the last experiment. I don't need a mountain of bodies. I need time to follow proper scientific processes. Can't you understand that not everything is best done fast and bloody?" McKinney frowned deeply and she hurled the empty bottle off to the side of her office where it shattered. The pieces joined an already sizable pile of broken glass shards. She barked angrily. "All right, prove it, bitch. You want to call the shots so bad you can put on your big girl power panties and fight me for it in front of everyone. Get just one good hit to me and I'll let you run R&D your own way. Now get the fuck out of my office. Meet will be after lunch in 2 days." Carter stood up speechless and marched out of the CEO's office. As she moved down the halls, her footsteps echoing around her, she decided the only thing to do was either try her best or cheat. Now, this is important because it affects your choices here. So if you decide to try your best, you go down here, where McKinley triumphs. FYI, if you try your best, she fails. Or at least McKinney does triumph and Carter fails. If you cheat, Carter wins and you get down this way. And this has much better perks for your insects. So, cheating is what we are going to do. And very shortly, here we are, mind over muscle. The onlooking employees cheered and jeered as Carter hit the floor with a tremendous clang. Even a few from the research division were on their feet for the spectacle. McKinley loomed tall over her in armor that was yet pristine and untouched. Carter grit her teeth. She had done her damnedest to try and tag her CEO with just a single punch, but to no avail. McKinley was too good of a scrapper. The triumphant CEO bent over to grasp Carter's chestplate and pulled back her other fist into a ready pose. "Ready to cry, Auntie?" Carter lashed out then, a last-minute attempt to sneak out to win, but her gauntlet in hand was caught in mid-swing. That's the spirit, McKinley laughed. Not going to help, but it look good on your next performance review. Before McKinley could act further, Carter triggered her suit's surprise defensive mechanism. A surge of stored-up electricity jumped from her gauntlet into McKinley's, shocking and stunning the CEO. Without delay, Carter swung her other hand into McKinley's face, the combined voltage and punch sending her staggering and falling to the floor. The crowd of employees watching exploded, the science team cheering louder than anyone. McKinley recovered before Carter could even stand, looming over Carter again. For a moment, the CRO was worried about until the CEO offered a hand to help her up. She wrapped her arm around Carter's shoulders. Good shit. The hell was that? Natalie and I spent the last 2 nights working on that. Figured that if I wanted to beat you, I'd need a trump card. So am I in charge? And a deal's a deal. 50 political power. We're going to use that right now or very soon. Plus 2 to my stability, please, because I'm down to 6. Minus 2 to my war support. That's not too great, but it's okay. Remember to pause. And now, this is open. Now, this is why we want to do this. The front line of the future. The old Radbug project back in the home vault had real potential, and with some of the leftover notes and cautious research, we can likely revive it. This will be the best way moving forward. So we can add technology, basic creatures tech. No deathclaws yet. That'll come. Add technology, insect taming and insect swarming. Add Carter's way, land doctrine research speed plus 10%, and general research speed plus 5%. It's going to take 60 days though, so it's a bit of a pain. If you choose not to do it, you only get the tech. You don't get any of the other Carter grants. And there's some more coming in the next one after this. Let's get this started. And now let's spend some more political power. And I'm not doing anything up top here. Instead, I am going to go for Van Graaf's energy weapon manufacturer. Because, like I said, when I selected the research, I want more piercing. So, piercing there. Now we just need to juggle it to make sure that this thing takes effect. Because as you can see here, okay, it's popped up here, but it's not actually there. So we just need to do that. And then jump back to there. Oh, it actually did take effect. So I've wasted all my time here. Damn it. Oh, work as needed is done as 1 day. So let's just roll forward with that. Work as needed is done. Now I'm below 1,000 manpower. So, I was going to take agriculture, but I'm not going to waste a 50% research bonus. Not for love or money. I'm going to do local workspaces because I'll still get a little bit more population, but I really want that factory output. 189 days. Okay. Agriculture is going to have to wait. Tribal Scale Kit unlocked. Let's head on down and do some stripped power armor. I know I mentioned earlier that I want the passive bonuses, but I also want to do this because it unlocks my power armor support, which is what I'm going to be using over the Enforcer armor. Now, I'm getting slightly annoyed, believe it or not, that Lanius has not attacked me. They're supposed to be attacking me so I can wear down their manpower, but they're not. And it's really starting to bother me because if he does decide to attack Summers Federation, I'm going to have to push fast and hard with minimal units to take his cause over here. So let's see what happens with this. Smoke signal's done. Let's carry on. Let's get intel on my enemies. Now that I've got more intel on my enemies, let me stop getting them intel on me. Frontline of the future is done. And that has given me rad bugs, insect taming, and basic creature tech. Close all those. Now, I'm going to take a break from doing this tree because I want to put them in production, but I don't want to waste my arms factory. So I'm going to start down this route over here, starting off with the Vault security teams. We trust that all vault dwellers will be good, understanding numbers of the community. Having insurance has never gone wrong. Our security team stands for law and order and protects us from both outside and inside threats, and is a staple of our vault. Plus 100% to enforcer technology, plus 20 army experience, and plus 5 to my war support. Okay, that's going to take 45 days. Now I'm going to do something here. Let me show. Okay, you can go away, you can go away, you can go away. Now, the insect swarm. It starts off with a combat width of 7. That's right. Each one of these is just 1 point. Has extremely low manpower cost for some pretty good suppression. Now, first thing I'm going to do with my 19 arm experience is boost it up to a combat width of 10. I am going to take it all the way up to 15. Unfortunately, you can't get to my beautiful 20 number that I always advise using with the combat width, but this is going to be the best for now. So we're going to save this. We'll carry on with this later, and we're going to put them into production. I'm not going to upset my current production because it's nice and maxed, but I will be adding on factories on. You can see this production price is fantastic, but actually I forgot to actually show you the stats for these insects are actually pretty garbage, to be honest. Organization of 20, soft and hard attack is abysmal, absolutely no air attack, so they aren't great, but I'm going to make them better. That's more to follow. One thing they are actually very good at, though, is as a garrison unit. I can't change it now, but because of their low manpower cost, they are actually one of the most effective suppression versus manpower options I found in a long time. So as soon as I do actually break into Lanius's cohort over here, I will be using them. What can I say? I don't want a toothpick, you're crazy. Okay, still no attacking. Don't know why. We've been at war for 3 months now, not a single attack. So, yes. Encoded signals is done. Let's jump down and get some resistors for some more research speed. And I have manufactured 122 units of power armor. I was waiting for 120 so I can convert another one of my units to a power armor unit. I want to go with executive task force here at the top. So now when I do eventually push, I will have 2 power armor units that I'll be effectively leading the charge with. Strip power armor has been unlocked. I'm going to take a break from doing this, and I'm going to jump over to my creatures tab, because this is a very important thing to unlock for your rad bugs. I'll show it more in detail when I create my final insect template, but if you understand what's looking here, all your support teams actually add organization onto the rad bugs, which is great. And also I get 5% more breakthrough and 10% more speed. So unified direction is going. Here you can see it a bit more clearly. These support items, each one adds 5% more organization. But I'll show you that in more detail when we get to it. And I've actually had enough of waiting. It's been 3 months. As you can see, I had prepped a little breakthrough here just to get into the territory, but no one's attacking me, so I'm supposed to rain down their manpower. So I'm actually going to go onto the attack, and if things go nicely, I'm going to push across here, and if they come for me, I will pull back to my defenses. If they don't, I will start heading in this direction here. These are the core states of Lanius. Again, if you have played as Lanius, you know there's very few ways to quickly core all these states. So taking these ones will get you victory points for sure, but you need to get these 6 over here to actually take them towards capitulation. So if you're wondering what the hell is going on, I did actually attack. And Lanius is being a bit of a sneaky bugger. As soon as I went in here, all his units just came piling down south. So as I said, I have retreated back behind my defenses. They did attack me for a day or two, but then stopped. So they are out there, so I know I need to get my units up there. Otherwise, I won't have enough to actually guard my back as I'm advancing. So that's what's happening there. Vault security teams is done. Let's get some arms factories with astounding ammunition. Our production lines consist of trinkets and civilian goods. It's time we step in and assign some plants purely to the manufacturing of firearms. Our enemies will know the dedication of our dwellers once the lead projectiles we manufactured pierces their skull. Three off-map arms workshops. What I love about off-map ones is that if my territory gets captured, you don't actually lose them. They exist in thin air, which is great. And I have some political power, so I'm going to grab my theorist. Now, I'm going to be going through for role-playing purposes, I'm going to be getting the Vault-Tec ones. Some of them aren't the best. Cartier is pretty good. If you don't want to do that, I would suggest going for John Gilbert here. Don't worry about Melvin. This will be good for the land doctrine that I suggest later on. But so Carter is going to give 10% faster bug or creature research. Still going to get my arm experience every day. So now, while I have that Centurion Polis thing, I should be getting 0.3 per day. And then I also get 5% more research speed. So, got her. Let's carry on going. Astounding ammunition is done. So, let's move on and get drilling dwellers. Should war ever reach the outskirts of our vault, every man, woman, and child must be prepared to face the wrath of our enemies. Security Chief McKinley has agreed to drill folk of all ages in the art of warfare to help us face the enemy. 2 times 50% research bonuses for land doctrine. Let's get that started. Finally getting attack chats or whittling down the manpower, but I feel it's the Iron Alliance volunteers that are actually doing the attacking. But as long as it drags those militia guys in and starts wearing down their manpower, I'm okay with that. Now, those factories are going to be added on very quickly here onto my bugs. So before that happens, I want to use this extra army research to boost them up to their maximum possible combat width of 15. For information, you can mix other mutant creatures in here, like I have tested it, if you have Super Mutants, deathclaws, all that kind of stuff. I don't recommend it because it really just messes with your organization and everything. So you can, but don't. So I'm going to save that. So now we're at least building the 15 that we want. And yes, that's all I have to say for now. Resistor is finished. Let's move on to getting vacuum tubes now. Again, more research speed. They are attacking me more often now. Let's just have a peek at what Lanius' manpower is looking like. 1,000. Okay. That's double what I have. But he's lost 760 men against my 25. So I'm happy with that situation right now. Oh, before I go, starting the bugs has put me low insufficient resources on water. Since getting my rad bugs out is my priority, I've moved them to the top of the list. For now, my power armor is only in production just to make sure that I have a sufficient stock for when I lose some. So that's something to look out for. Local workspaces is finished. Now I'm with 525 manpower. I'm definitely going to go after agriculture for the extra 250 and the 15% increase to my monthly population. That's going to be 45 days. Still holding here quite well, so I'm happy. And my unit leader has unlocked a new trade slot, so I'm going to get animal friend because creatures attack and defense gets increased by 10%. There we go. Drilling dwellers completed. Now let me get the last of these focuses to increase my production. Expanding firearm production, to be specific. The effort we put forward to build further weapons and manufacturing plants has paid off. However, we can always push the production line further. Our scouts have spotted land clearings that would be the perfect location to set up armament workshops. So in Frogman, 4 extra building slots, and 2 of them will automatically be arms workshops. Unified direction completed. Now this is going to be very helpful later on when I upgrade the template for my insects. For now, next thing I'm going to research is some passive boosts for my power armor. So we'll get that. Now, I've got some political power to use. I am old and I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but I am going to be using the unique cultural or the unique advisors that come with the executives, not because they're the best, but I can test them out basically. There are some better ones no matter where you look. Because I am low on manpower, the first one I'm going to go for here is Miranda, because she gives me an extra 10% political power gain, but more importantly, 5% more recruitable population. So that is that. Carrying on. All right, my stability might be shot to hell, but I just got basically 50% more manpower, extra 250 with organized agriculture. I am going to do the next one, seed selection. This one gives me 500, if I'm correct. Yes, 500, and also 20% to my monthly population. Holding quite nicely here still. Lanius is at approximately 2,000 manpower. Been at war for, 9 months now, and I've got my 12th unit out, so very soon I will be able to start advancing. Expanding firearm production brings me to the end of my industry run for now. Now I want to get 2 more boosts for my insects and all that before I can consider advancing. I want to start off with trials and tests. The insects are responding well and early tests are promising. We take our time with this and we'll have something of real use. So modify memories of the FEV exploitation by increasing insect defense by 15%, which is good because they're terrible at it. And also the swarms get extra 5% soft attack, and here's a nice one, 5% more breakthrough. Does take 60 days though. Seed selection done. That means I'm back over 1k manpower. I'm going to do the same again and now take plant cultivation, another 500, another boost to my monthly population. That's great. Time to modify again. I am sorely tempted to start taking some of these other advisors, but I want to get the Vault-Tec ones out the way first. I'm going to be heading into enemy territory soon, so I think I'm going to get Eric Smith here for the mainly. Well, I'm going to get him because Benjamin here is actually a lot better, but the nice thing he's going to give me is minus 15% to my damage to garrisons. That's going to be quite nice. And it's literally a day until the next focus done, so let's just roll things forward. There we go, trials and tests. Pardon me. And let's finish all these insect things off with greater field testing. The bugs are good enough for now. Get them out there. The project was a certifiably a success. So gains bring out the bugs, which grants production cost minus 15% for a year. Brilliant. And if we completed the focus frontline for the future, which we did by cheating, we are going to get a permanent minus 5% production cost. And also, we're going to get the events. The bugs are all right. That's going to take 30 days, which is a lot better. Okay, so started the first bit, or the first step into my laser weaponry. So first things first, let's put these bad boys into production over there. They can upgrade. Then I was looking at what I can research next, and I've decided that it's actually time for me to start dipping into my land doctrine. Now, there are 3 that give some boosts at various levels 2 creatures, but we need to specifically look at monstrous creatures. That's what deathclaws and insects are. So conventional warfare is going trooper is the worst. And then asymmetric warfare and outsider warfare are the next best. Now, if you are playing a more balanced army, then asymmetric warfare is actually the way to go. Quick summary here. If you go down, which I think is the best, asymmetric and then wasteland tactics, you'll get 30% more breakthrough, 200% more HP, 20% more maximum speed. Your soft and hard attack will go up by 10% each. Organization plus 5, and then you get a little bit more recovery, but another big one is 10% more defense and 20% more piercing. Outside of warfare is, apart from now boosting mutants, it also boosts monstrous creatures straight out and gives the best bet. Now we'll get less breakthrough at 15%, no boost to HP or max speed, but we get 30% more soft attack over 10, 30% more hard attack, and then on top of that, deathclaws can get an extra 15, and insects can get an extra 20% hard attack, 8 more organization. Recovery rate is like 6 times better at 0.3. Defense is better at 15. No piercing boost, but then we do get a 3% boost to initiative, 40% boost to hardness, and 10% boost to armor. So if you want to boost purely just your monstrous creatures, outside of warfare is the way to go. Now, leading up to this, initially I was going to go asymmetric warfare for a bit more of a balanced way of fighting. But I've kind of changed my mind. Seeing at how cheap these insects are actually to produce. Where is my rad bugs? 0.25. 0.25. That is nothing. So I've got a interesting army I want to create. I'm not going to get rid of my now my Vault-Tec security teams. I'll rename them. But I'm going to try to use or get the most out of insects and deathclaws as I possibly can. So I'm choosing outside of warfare. Asymmetric, better if you're going for a more balanced fighting force. I'm going all in, and I'm going to go for everything I can get on monstrous creature units, which, as you can see, are insect swarms, and I'm looking for alpha deathclaws because that's what affects me. So let's try this out. Great to field testing completed, and bugs are all right. McKinley and Carter sat side by side, the former nursing her 4th beer of the afternoon as they watched the monitors. The first live-fire combat trials of the newest radbug strain were underway, and the ornery insects were currently tearing apart a squad of unlucky mercenaries. They had been hired to obstinately clear out some insects from an old ruin, but in reality it was a front for the executives to test their bioweapons. See, everything worked out great, McKinney slurred as she gestured at one screen. On it they watched a radbug wade through submachine gun fire and to then pounce on its target. They were performing adequately. Carter was actually quite proud, but meant to maintain composure in front of her subordinates. So many sleepless nights had been spent adjusting strains and stretching their limited supply of control insects, but the monstrous creatures had been responding well to her methods and trials. Adequate. Fuck you. You did good, Jeanette. You made some good bugs. The CEO slapped her on the shoulder and handed her a beer before wrapping her arm around her cheerfully. Lighten up, enjoy the show. McKinley gave Carter's shoulder a brief squeeze as one monitor went red from splash viscera, and the screams of mercenaries came in clear from the speakers. Cracking open her drink, the CRO smiled in spite of herself and whispered, "Yeah, you're right. Now, I get 2,000 red bugs for free, on top of the other bonuses of the 15% for a year and 5% permanent." So, next, I would dearly love to go down this part of the tree to get some more insect boosts, but I have a serious problem with my water supply. To fix that, I'm going to go for our water chips here. We have heard long lost tales of vault dwellers heroically exiting their vault and sacrificing themselves to find water chips. We were luckily given an adequate supply of them. The scientists have proposed to build even more water plants to better utilize our stockpile of chips. Truly genius at work. So, political power plus 50, great, plus 12 production of water in the Picos ruins. So, in 45 days' time, that problem should be dealt with. Now, I'm still playing with the idea of when to attack. Lanius's manpower is actually going up, which is both annoying and scaring me. I have decided to combine my objective. I want to have a total of 20 units. I have split my insects and my normal manpower up. I want to see how they perform. But I want to get to about 20, and also I want to get this research done here to get the best boost possible. Vacuum tubes done, and as I almost always go, I'm going to carry on snaking around. Now it's for primitive radio. Power armor support frame done. That's the first of my passive boasts for my power armor. The next quickest thing that there is for me to research is the anti-air rockets. I normally don't research this, but insects and deathclaws have absolutely zero air attack. No surprise, they're insects and deathclaws. So I'm going to be using that to actually have some protection from air attack, because if you've forgotten, as great as they are, only basic in aircraft, and I detest building gliders, so I'll be fighting the air from the ground. So our water chips have sorted out my water problem. That's brilliant. Now I'm going to move all the way across here again, and now I'm going to start beginning the tree where you could decide between deathclaws and power armor. So memories of the secret vault will be first. We were once in a pocket of our own paradise, nestled in the corporate vault for years. Our tranquility wasn't perfect, but it was much better than out here, that's for sure. We've given ourselves a fair deal, but we could have so much more. For now, we'll dream, but one day we'll be back. So, dreams of a vault will grant plus 10% war support and plus 3 to division attack. And when you get 200 basic laser weapons and 50 more pieces of power armor. And this is 30 days, which is nice. Something else is nice is that powerless national spirit is gone. I can't remember what it was. All the bad. It was bad. It's gone. That's all I can actually remember right now. As for my next advisor, I want to get Amelia over here, because the little industry I do have needs as much factory output as possible. So I'll take the extra 6% right there, right now. Now that I've finished walking down memory lane, I want to get forced evolution. It was our research on FEV that brought those green assholes and their steel buddies to our doors. Our surviving notes on the virus can be put to some use, but most was lost in the home vault. I'm going to add future of evolution, which will give me insect swarms plus 10% heart attack and plus 10% piercing, so that's great. And my creature units organization is also going to go up by 10%. Also only 30 days. Now I'm getting very, very close to the number I'm looking for here, 20. These insects really rolling out. So I want to get somebody to help me with my compliance and resistance. And that is Timothy over here. So we'll grab him. So plant cultivation has put me just under 2,000 manpower, which I am happy about. Gives me a bit of breathing space, and now I want to go after basic tools, because I want to get my production efficiency cap up by another 7%. I haven't touched that yet, and these factories was only really my Vault-Tec now. It has been running on max since the start of the game. Just to note, I have added on production of some basic caravan equipment, because I'm going to need them when I start advancing in here. Forced evolution is done. Now, for now, this is all the boosts I can get for my insects. I need to get loss over here. If you didn't know, this is where the old original vault actually is. I need to get that back before I can continue. I want to boost up. I'm very tempted to get more guns or to go down some research here. But I think what's most important with my very limited construction is to get some boost to that. So I want to get, yes, this is the one, quincentennial checklist. Some people say we should check these more often, but the official Vault-Tec Vault maintenance manual says once every 5 years. So add repair checklist, which grants 10% more construction research. This is the wrong one. Not I want research speed. I want 10%, sorry, 50% more construction speed. So, happy work is hard work. The great minds in the Vault-Tec Human Relations branch have devised a new campaign to get our dwellers back on their feet and working. We will create an artificial atmosphere of competition between the Vault families by rewarding the hardest working dweller of the month 1 day of extra pay. So striving for perfection gives me 15% more construction speed. That's what I'm looking for. 10% less caps income. Not too worried about that because I've gotten quite a lot of boost to that already. And apart from getting the military signing bonus, I haven't remembered actually having to spend anything just yet. And it's 45 days, so not too much of a problem. That will give me some time to hope to get my last 2 units out so we can start actually attacking. Because we've been at war now for 15 months. So that's the first level of my land doctrine done. I'm going to jump straight into the next one, mutated endurance. This doesn't give much, but it does open me up for better things later on. Just get a slight boost to my recovery rate for now. And what do we have here? Crucial tests. Frank breathed a heavy sigh, doubled over with his hands covered in yellowish pale blood. He had been mopping a sublevel of the vault when a giant ant had burst through the wall and attacked him. The door to the room had then entered security lockdown and sealed him inside with the angry insect. A desperate battle had ensued, with the aging intern resorting to breaking his mop and using it as an impromptu spear. The monstrous bug had died with its jaws still clamped around his ankle, half a mop stabbed through its head. This was all seen through the camera many rooms away by a pair of junior researchers and McKinley. The rest of the science staff had declined to observe the experiment, but it had been McKinley's idea and she was enjoying herself. She gestured towards the monitor with beer in her hand and commented, "Good use of company property there, resourceful. Well, we won't know how fatal giant ant bites are until the poor bastard dies. Send in another." The researchers scrambled to begin the next phase of the experiment. Frank found a rumbling in the floor and looked up to see another hole breaking open in the wall. He wrenched his makeshift spear free and used it to pry his leg from the dead ant's jaws before brandishing it with another sigh. "I don't get paid anywhere near enough for this shit," he muttered. "I say that a lot at work. 12 bites, wow." So an amazing 1% research bonus to medical technology. Poor Frank. Primitive radio done. So that means next we're going for our normal radio there, and I discovered I've created a little bit of a problem for myself. I have so many units camped on this one tile here, right there, that I'm actually starting to have supply issues. So I've decided, come those models look weird, come hell or high water, when this focus is finished, I should have at least one more unit, if not two, and either which way I'm going to start my offensive against Lanius. Alright, so happy work is hard work is done. Right now I'm in a bit of a holding pattern. I need to win this war so I can continue doing this part of the tree and then actually move on to getting my deathclaws to finish off at least this video. So I'm busy choosing the focuses that work best for me, and right now one of them looks like here, stocking up on stimpaks, because its experienced soldier losses minus 20% is basically the equivalent of level 2 of chems, and that's for free. So I'm going to start off with the Vault Science teams here. The Vault science teams are the most crucial pillar in securing our future in the wasteland. Vault-Tec's best and brightest were sent to our vault to be utilized, not just sitting around testing on lab mice. We are to continue sailing on a steady path of technological stability. We must make sure our scientists are well funded. Gain base stability +5, brilliant. Extra water, nice. And support equipment, that's okay. And now, let's try this. So, it's now Army Group Order, but I've only got the breakthrough still on my Vault-Tec security, my infantry. We'll break through here, get Roswell, and then start using just them to cover up. Something to take note of, which is quite nice. Basically, I can pump out a unit of the insect swarms, I'd say, every 4 to 5 weeks. I don't know the exact time, but it's just over or just under a month, which is pretty damn nice. And almost forgot to get some political power, to use my political power, and I'm going to get the bean counter Leslie here, just for another boost to my efficiency cap. Let's get this started. Okay, I have broken through here. What I'm hoping is that my infantry stays on the northern side, and then I can have them start pushing up towards long enough and everything else. We'll see what happens when I take the second tile. My AA is finished. The next thing for me that is best for close to research is some more support equipment. So because we're going lasers, heavy rapid side capacitor weapon is the choice for me. I really hope I can get the caravans out so I can get my supply sorted out. Okay, still really battling to break through here. Vault-Tec science teams is finished though. So let me get what I was here for, stocking up on stimpaks. While our Vault provides some of the most high quality care in the wasteland, there are still some issues in our supply line. Stimpaks and medics are rare finds for our scavengers, and currently we don't have any way of producing them. Setting a science team's objective to recreating the Stimpak formula would help immensely. So stocking up on Stimpaks, division recovery rate by 7.5, experienced soldier losses -20%. 45 days, but it is what it is. Basic tools finished. Now, something I just realized, between me starting this research and finishing it, I've lost 1,000 manpower. Whether that's to recruitment or losses in combat, I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping track, so I'm going to go back to crop rotation here. Another 500. Unlock the decision for grain solicitations, which I can get more manpower from, and 25% more monthly population. Let's see if I can finally get this damn tile. Well, it's time to decide what to do with the followers of the apocalypse. As you know, I don't like them very much. And everything indicates I should get them because of my very low manpower. But once this war's over, things are going to change dramatically. So I'm going to keep to what I normally do, and that is I'm going to take my hostile actions to kick them out. Because I don't think Vault-Tec and the followers of the apocalypse are going to be friends. So, kick them out it is. Let's take the decisions I need to over here. So, turn those off there and there. I can get some political power. Are there any ones here? And I've gotten all of them. So, that means the only one, the last of the Vault-Tec advisors I can get is Angus over here. Basically, it just gives me more research speed and boosts my equipment. Does increase the production cost though, but that's where it is. I have made a bit of an oopsie in that
I've got you now.
My guys have advanced too fast. My insects, to be specific. So I'm trying to pull them back here. If you're watching this, I was successful. If not, then you're watching something else. Alright, so finished stocking up on them stimpaks, so hopefully these boosts are going to help me. Next one I'm after now is Future of Warfare for the boost to my laser or research for my laser weaponry. So 100% condition I have to do first. Our Pip-Boys were built with devices able to track both flora and fauna. Why don't we encourage our dwellers to get rid of pests like red roaches by rewarding them for killing 50 of them? I'm sure these little traits will keep our dwellers motivated to deal with pests. Plus 2 times 75 research bonuses to support technology. That's actually not too bad. Okay, so mutated endurance finished. That was my second one. Now, as much as this next one for outside of warfare is attractive, I am going to go for the next boost in my power armor purely because it's faster. I'm trying to time this so that I can get the boost for my energy weapons quite quickly, or just before this is finished. So I'm going to go for that quickest one. So this is going to be a nice boost to my what power armor I have. Okay, this is happening more than I care to admit, where I'm getting units isolated. But something I'm actually starting to suspect is Lanius's guys are very lowly equipped and supplied. Because wherever I push, they're falling back. So even though my manpower is almost FUBAR, my supply is still in the green. We need more guns soon. So it's alright. Now, getting back to some business. Heavy capacitor weapons is done. I've decided I really want that boost for my Doctrine, since my insects are actually working quite well and I just want to make them better. So mutated strength mastery, more breakthrough, more soft and hard attack. Let's go. Alright, 100% condition is finished. Now, what I should do, because I'm low on guns, is either buy some or do a focus to get some more. But I think it's a perfect opportunity to change my Garrison unit and see how that's working. So I'm going to go for, we'll continue with the future of warfare, while some white coats with their heads in the clouds dream of an age where everyone in the community gets their own plasma pistol. For now, we'll probably have to make do with refurbished laser rifles. Produced ahead of time penalty minus 1 year and a 33% research bonus for the next 1 research of energy weapons. And hey, I'm actually going to get some laser weaponry for this as well. That could actually be very useful. But let's test this out anyways. Occupied territories. As you can see now, Garrison law. So my interns, I need 12.5 per suppression. But insect swarms, I need 6. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a better choice. Has it updated yet? I need 171 insect swarms, but so I need 100, and so that should be taken care of in like, I don't know, I got 1.4. That should be no problem at all actually. Okay, no, how much do I need yet? Okay, let's do that, and then go back up there. I want to keep this supply running on my, or production of my caravans going just for a little bit, because I've still got quite a bit to take over here, and I do not want my guys to run out of supply. Okay, got me some radios, so let's get some more intel. And I was actually just about to pause to do this because I forgot to do it after the next one. I have some political power, so I've got all the unique Vault-Tec ones, so now I can actually prove some proper administrators, or advisors, sorry. I'm going to go for Lewis over here, because he gives me 8% more organization and defense. Mr. Chamberlain here does give me more, 5% more attack, but I think organization is better and defense is better for my insect swarms. So I'm going to go for that one. Something else I'm going to do is, let's go through, since I'm pretty sure I can afford it now, all my army command things over here. So there's, I think, only 1 or 2 unique ones for Vault-Tec. These all look like the normal ones. I like right hand man because it gives me more stability and war support. So that's going to be my choice there. Then Vault-Tec calling is the one I'm going to go for role-playing purposes. I do prefer night training because, I mean, half your battles are at night. But Vault-Tec calling is going to give me, well, I'm going to lose speed, lose attack, gain defense, gain planning, gain entrenchment. Okay, and then last but not least, yes, this is the one I want here, Primal Instincts. I'm not sure if this is a Vault-Tec one or because I've got creatures unlocked. But yes, Primal Instincts. So my attack's going to go back up. Speed's going to go actually even more. Going to take a knock to research speed. More initiative. We're going to get this one. Okay. So those are my choices. You guys can choose as you want to. Now, these guys are moving around quite a lot. But I am winning. I need to get them below 10%. And they're 30. And so I need to get another 57% of victory points. The trick, if you're not sure in this kind of situation where they've got so much land, is always aim for the capital. So I'm aiming for there. Once I get Castor Sol Rubrum, it'll move probably to a trade on. So either the Pass or Santa Fe. And then I'll just head in that direction for the next victory point, taking other victory points as I go. Okay, this could not come at a better time. Extra 500 manpower, sorely needed. So much so, in fact, even though irrigation is the most expensive out of the researches I want to do here, it is also not expensive, the longest to research. It's the one I'm going to do so I can get another 500 and another boost to my monthly population. That's how much I needed. Something that is good to know is that insects is working very, very well. Everybody here, I said, no problems with my keeping my garrison supplied, and I'm actually still pumping out units slowly but surely. This, however, is a concern. If I lose this tile, then I could be in for a problem. Alright, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I can finish Lanius before the end of 2277. But until then, I've got some more intel. Let's get some more defense. This problem has been sorted. Thankfully, the AI pulled an infantry unit across. Remember, those are still only 10 width, and my power armor is only 15 width, same as my insects. So, nowhere close to the templates I actually want to be using. So far, we are doing okay. We've got them now there. Okay, so they've got 2% more towards capitulation. That's what I'm reading here. Let's say 5 times the losses. That's good. And I'm pretty sure they were stronger than this, but I actually outnumber them with units, which is something else I dearly love. Okay, Future of Warfare is done, and I've got some time to spare before I can actually do the next research. I am definitely going to get more guns now, although I am tempted to go to see what this is. Printing more uniforms it is. Besides being comfortable, rugged, and fashionable, Vault-Tec security uniforms help distinguish our forces from the lawless wastelanders. We'll need to ramp up production to keep up with modern needs. 500 service pistols and 50 crowd control gear. So that's all nice. Okay, here's another boost. Alphabetic ciphers done. Let's now get my simple circuitry sorted out. What seems to be happening here is the AI is being quite silly. They're keeping the guys in the north and leaving their capital unguarded. So my guys are just chawing through. I might actually do a bit of a, let me send you go there and you
let's go
there. And let's see if we can just hurry this along, shall we? Well, that's the first time that manualing has worked for me. Lanius has failed because I've taken his capital. So yes, let's push him across the Rio Grande. something I should mention is I now have a decision here. Okay, I'm not going to tributize the freaking Kaiser's Legion, and that is an absolutely crazy idea. Silly raider things. But I can make an offer to the Legion. This is to make peace with them and open up trade routes. I am, what else there? Ooh, military signing bonus. I need manpower. Yes, please. Okay. I'm not going to take this right now simply because I don't know if they're going to agree with it while we are at war. But now that I've taken that, so the next capital's here at the pass. So we are going to send our army in this direction. And let's see. Oh, I need a handful more victory points. Maybe 1 or 2. Probably Castrum Mars up top there. But we'll head towards that one because that's got the highest. That will have the highest victory point count. So we'll head that way. Okay, more guns is good. So printing uniforms is done. I am very, very close to finishing off this war. And still got, what, 2 months to go? I'm going to carry on. I was looking for something that takes 30 days, but I can't find anything. So I'm going to go theorizing super security over here. The American military was at the cutting edge of advancements in warfare before the bombs dropped. If we could recover and integrate some of their technology and manuals, we could place our best performing security members into unstoppable elite units. Get the event, new generation of security. Now what I'm going to do is, if this war does end in the next 10 days, I'm going to stop it and do a different focus. Otherwise, if it's more than 10 days, I'll just let it run. Now I've got a dockyard. I have absolutely zero naval stuff researched, so just going to build convoys there, and then some political power. I wanted to get Luke here, the faithful henchman. Basically more daily compliance game. That's the reason why I'm going after him. And it is done. Lanius is gone. Seems as Castrum Mars, after taking the pass, was the way to go. So maybe I should have done that from the beginning instead of chasing the capitals, but so be it. I am going to take everything because I need to for my focus tree. So that is the executives there. Let's confirm and exit. And then let's see. Oh, stop a monster. We'll have a look at that just now. Has it been 10 days? Oh, I could not have cut it closer if I tried. Okay. 10 days. 10 days progress will be saved. Cancelling you. Okay. So, now, let's have a look at this first. There we go. To stop a monster. The war had turned against Lanius and his men, but the man himself seemed far from beaten. He had carved through multiple armored termination squads and repelled half a dozen assaults on his camp. With security at a loss, it was the size division that had come forth, suggesting a new approach. 2 days later, the executives had attacked again, this time with McKinley leading the charge. It was a feint, however, using the CEO as bait for a trap, and once Lanius smelled the blood of an enemy commander, he took it. He aggressively counterattacked, followed as McKinley and her forces slowly allowed themselves to be pushed into a pre-war ruin. Lanius challenged McKinley then, taunting her as a cowardly woman and ordering her to face him. Laughing, amused by the man's bullish nature, McKinley goaded him and retreated one more time. Pursuing her, he stepped into a trap that had been laid before in the dead of night. Wrapping around him, a hooked metallic net restrained him before filling him with enough voltage to kill a deathclaw. McKinley stepped forward then, blowing away multiple legionaries attempting to reach their fallen leader as her shredder, with her shredder, and calling for her employees to attack the stunned legion troops. Stepping over the fallen legate, she stopped when he twitched beneath her. Holy shit, he's alive. It takes a lot to kill Lanius, it seems. Okay, so Lanius is gone, but we still have something else to do. What planes? Gliders? No. Okay, let's go for... I've saved it. Now, while we were at war, we had emergency hiring initiative. I did not take this, even though the 500 manpower would have been great, because the one I wanted to take was expansion opportunities. So this can only be taken after the 1st of Jan 2278, or if you've taken out Lanius. So, and this gives me all the war goals I need. So, expansion opportunities. The legate and his company went bankrupt, but the chaos that caused has left the door open for another enterprising group to stake their claim. Us. So, all these territory disputes are going to be unlocked. I have everybody, but this is what I want here. The claims and war goal on Summers Federation's core territories. And that one does take 30 days. Alright, power frame hardening is done, and this actually gives me opportunity to do quite a lot of things that I've been waiting to do. Hopefully I remember to do all of them. Okay, first of all, let's get this out of the way and get the boost for my energy weapons, because I'm not getting any boost from my land doctrine, so I have to get it somewhere else. Then, decision-wise, decisions available. Okay, so first of all, I am going to make an offer to the Legion. Legion has accepted offers, let the gold flow. So, I get more production, and they like me, and we have a non-aggression pact. How exciting indeed. I'm not going to raid anybody, so that can go away. That's left over because they were a raider nation. Then what else is there? Okay, so this is how I've set up my army to go against Summers Federation. I'm using my Vault-Tec security in the south to advance north. You will notice that this is completely open, and I have a reason for that. Quite a while ago, I did a challenge run with I think it was the mutants from Jacobstown here, and I had to avoid I was outnumbered and had to come up with a tactic to work, and it actually, in a situation like this, it works quite well. What's going to happen is when we go to war, they'll have forces north and south. The AI will see that there's no one here and will carry on pushing. So they will just continue going around. My insect swarm is currently moving back to guard the same territory I was guarding against Lanius. I have set them up defensive-wise to watch the victory points, the harbour, border. That'll give me a little extra boost there, but mainly the forts. So they're going to go there, and then they'll go north. And this is actually something I'm going to do quite a lot. This is my idea. I'll basically want to fill up this insect swarm squadron here with 60 insect swarms and use them on defensive to actually fight. And I'll show you how my plan is going to work. But that's that for now. Next thing we get to do is actually, finally, I think I can actually create the templates I want to create, at least some of them. So first of all, let's do my power armor. So here I'm going to go for my normal general purpose. It's 6 normal power armor, 1 fire team, 1 demo. Okay. No, wrong one. There and there. And then I'll slap on some anti-tank. And if I have to, I might add anti-air, but I don't think I'm going to need to. In the future, I plan on using these guys actually as a defensive unit, so it should be okay for now. If I do add on some anti-air, it's going to cost me another 4 organization, which I don't want to lose. So we can save like that for now. Okay, so that's that done. Next, I actually want to get the actual insect swarms I want to use. So this is going to be my garrison one and my defensive one for this squadron over here. The one I actually want to use as an attacking force is going to look slightly different. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm actually going to name these guys the Black Plague. GUE, there we go. And now I want you to watch something here. Organizations 23. Remember that unified research I did earlier. Well, I'm going to put that into use now. So we're going to get some power armor, 23.5. Then I'm going to add on some fire teams, then some demolitions, then some anti-air, and then some anti-tank. I am now up to 24.3, and all these boosts, everything else has boosted, has jumped quite a damn lot. Unfortunately, so is my manpower requirements, but it is. I don't have enough. Oh no. I'm going to have to lose. Let me lose the power armor. I can afford it then. Yes. Okay, we'll keep it like this for now. I will add on power armor later on because these aren't all finished yet. Let's save that so far. And we are going to actually... Oh, I need to change this icon. I found a perfect one when I was testing. Let's see if I can find it again. No. Where's it gone now? Okay, let's look slowly and carefully, Smokey. And let's see if we can find what we are looking for. It looks like that, but it's got a skull on it. No, man, I know I saw it. I thought to myself, this is the one. There, no. Where the beeping hell is it gone now? That's not the one. It's close, but it's not the one. I'm just going to go for... I saw... there it is. That's the one I was looking for. Okay. So you're going to go there. This is going to become a reserve template. Okay. So we're going to move that down to the bottom. You can go away and let's train some Black Plague. There we go. And there. All right. Oh, this I'm going to take up. Once this Vault-Tec security gets up to 20, I'm going to stop production of our infantry. I'm just going to keep that at 20. Anything else? No, we are good for now. I just need to redo my production now because now I need to produce anti-tank demolition fighting weapon. And I'm pretty sure some anti-air as well. Okay. Let's cancel you. Minimize you. Where's my minimizing button? There. Okay, so let's go in order of 7.5. And then, oh, we actually take you away. Take you away. And I don't think I'm going to need you either. Okay, so most expensive capacitor weapons. Then we have our AA. Then we have anti-tank. And then last but not least, dynamite. Yes, that's everything. Okay. Now, I don't want to take my swarms down because I need a lot for reinforcement. So, 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. Okay. So we are resupplying. We will carry on with templates later on. Have I done everything? I believe I have. Alright, expansion opportunities is finished. We move on to a very important focus, and that is going to be Kings of New Mexico. Like some folks once said, King's dead. With the fall of the monster, we're top dogs on this side of the Picos. Things are finally looking up for us again. Now, without him to worry about, we can turn our eyes back to the real prize. Prize, the corporate vault. So, Laws of New Mexico will give me factory repair speed plus 30%. Here's the big one. Cause all owned states, also called by Lanius' cohort. That is a big one. And then we're going to get the event trial run as well. That's only 30 days, which is nice. Now, something weird here. We have decisions to get our rifle territories back. But Normally when you do this, there's like a little green symbol on the map, and I can't see any, both during my trial runs and now, so I think this is a bug for the old lands that we actually already have. I'm not messing with it, so I'm turning it off. Okay, so that's that done. What I'm not turning off, however, is I'm going to declare war on the Summers Federation. So I'm going to send that off, send these guys off, and before I forget, once again, I'm going to create my intelligence agency. Some nice unique ones here. I'm going to go for Vault-Tec security, that image over there, create the agency, and as I always do, I'm going to be using this mainly only for taking down my resistance. So this shouldn't take long. Let's see how it goes. Okay, trial run. So that means my focus is completed. So it did take more than a month. I have unlocked my agency. So let's start researching anti-partisan. There we go. Kings of New Mexico done. We'll get to that now. First of all, trial run. Ready for another long one, guys? McKinley loved how the world looked through a high-power scope. With lenses like these, everything else felt close enough to reach out and take it. Even better, everything she could see through it was hers. From the hills in the distance to the slave pens just a couple dozen feet away. The barrel of an anti-material rifle poked out a short distance through the cracked window that was serving as a vantage point, aimed towards those pens. The closest pen had a sullen-looking young man staring into the distance, his skin covered in bruises and cuts. He had been one of the dogs who ran with that idiot Lanius, thinking they'd rule the world until they pissed off someone stronger. McKinley had been that someone stronger, and she barked to the intern behind her with a cruel grin. "All right, start the experiment." A few moments later, the latch on the pen McKinley had been observing fell apart, and the door opened just a crack. The former legionary inside couldn't hide his surprise at first, but he was clever enough to get up and step to the gate slowly, without urgency or drawing attention. It was only then that he pushed through the opening and sprinted off towards the hills. The guards made a show of shouting and pointing, following half-heartedly behind the runaway. His bare feet kicked up a dust cloud that trailed behind, but it could not obscure him enough that the sniper watching from the shadows lost her target. Behind McKinley, the intern looked up from his pit-boy and said, "Now." The shot that followed that single word echoed through the hills, and a spray of red tingled sand erupted into the air. The executive CEO stood up and tossed the rifle towards the intern, chuckling as he scrambled to catch it. She lit up a cigar and walked towards the door. "We'll use that guy as control. Tomorrow we'll open 2 cells and see how far they get before time is up. After that, we'll improvise something, maybe get some landmines." The intern typed feverishly into his pip-boy, making sure that he got every word recorded in his task log. Before he hit the last key, McKinley was already gone. Every day, a new experiment. Command power plus 500, which is going to be nothing because I'm at max already. Now, you can actually see what I was talking about in action. The AI has been rather silly. I've taken their capital. I've got half of their victory points, and if I lose one more, they are finished. But the AI keeps on pushing them all the way around and achieving absolutely nothing. My guys are already here to defend my territory. Having this done, I can actually start this. Brilliant. So, I need to get started on these before I can actually go back and continue getting my deathclaws. So I'm going to do difficult rivals first. The leftovers of the Bulls' failed attempt at a merger are quite the bunch of arseholes. A lot of them hung around just to cause trouble, but are stubborn, mean, and usually hungry for a fight. Really, they're perfect for a bit of headhunting. Manpower plus 250, then Holloman, Roswell, and the past, and 3 others. Compliance gain plus 10%, resistance minus 10%, resistance target minus 10%. And remember, everything that was called by Lanius is now called by me. So I'm going to prep some construction. Actually, I think I'll wait until after this war's over. Yes, I'll do that. But this shouldn't actually take that much longer. I love it when a plan comes together. So, Summers Federation is done. Got all their stuff. Got all their land. And this is what Lanius was trying to do, but I did it instead. So, now that that's done, now I can set up some more construction. And my next target is going to be Mr. Loss over here. Now, actually, let me do a fallback line. No. Let's see if I can get it all going. So for this, I am going to put every single man I have on this line here. Shell's army is currently at war, so I have to take one of the two focuses. I'll go through that when we get there. But right now, just trust my advice. You want to have every possible unit on the line to help with threatening your enemies, as it were. Oh, I forgot to spend my political power. Got one more slot here. Who I'm going to go for? No. Actually, that might be a good one. Yep, slave flogger it is. More resources, more factory output. That's what we're going with. Oh, another event. This time, the outside take. Angus, have you ever considered making just a gun? Lewis Lofton, a security officer who'd taken to hanging around the science staff, said as he pinched two cards and drew fresh ones. Pitched two cards and drew fresh ones. Lewis, who had been recruited from a defunct outfit the Legion, had walked over and he had managed something of an outsider's outlook. Uncaring that security largely kept to itself, he joined the popular poker games some of the senior science and admin staff played each week. What kind of gun? An acid sprayer? Maybe an explosive harpoon launcher? Something with a vicious napalm, perhaps? Angus Carnage, head of engineering, replied as he pushed his entire hand to replace it with the new cards. Leslie Sinead, the head accountant, groaned piteously as she listened to Angus and uncorked a small whiskey bottle. Give me that. Lofton snatched the bottle from her and took a swig himself. You've had enough. Last hand you tried to play 6 pairs. Turning back to Carnegie, he clarified. No, I mean a normal gun. Fires bullets, maybe lasers, maybe an improvement on the guns we already use. Carter sat between the two men on either side and took a long drag of her cigarette before passing on drawing any new cards. She gave Carnegie a meaningful look before asking, Yes, Angus, what would you do? What would you think of that? He frowned at the question as well as his hand before answering. I guess I could do that. 120% research bonus for infantry weapon. Thank you very much. Oh, and our anti-partisan is done, so now I can do it one more time, and I can recruit a operative. Who have we got? We've got, well, he looks cool. And he comes with Smooth Talker. Mad Bomber. Albert, you're the guy. And you will be sorting out some resistance. Definitely here. Remember, always try to play around this to get the biggest area you possibly can that you want to have. He's going there. Difficult rivals is done. Now I need to do franchising drive. We've expanded rapidly recently, which is great and all, but only if we keep it under control. There's dozens of % operations and towns throughout the area we need to get under our thumb and properly franchise so we're not missing our cut of business. Gained 30,000 bottle caps, nice. Then 6 areas or states, 10% more compliance, minus 10% resistance, and again minus 10% to the resistance target. Also, 30 days. Okay, this is something I actually really don't need anymore now that I'm at over 2,500 irrigation. But thank you very much. I am now going to continue on with some public projects. Yes, factory output. Get me some of that. It's weird having no alarms at the top here. And now we get the White Man Ripper. Security Assistant Anton walked through the burned out streets of some long forgotten town, laser rifle in hand, anxiously scanning the buildings around him. His patrolmate Officer Swana picked up on his nerves and began taunting him. This your first patrol? We're leaving a piss trail intern. He half nodded in response, prompting her to continue. What are you scared of? Some tribals who think a washing machine is the devil's arsehole? they're going to see power armor and shit their loincloths. However, whatever Anton might have replied was cut off as a massive chunk of rubble fell on Schwana, crushing her and her suit with a sickening sound of screeching metal and cracking bones. Within moments, the rest of the patrol was under attack from all angles. His comrades were overwhelmed quickly. He fired wildly to try and support them. A sound to his side made him spin, and he saw a white-haired woman standing atop Schwana's crushed form, having dropped down from the building's upper reaches. He fired again and again, lasers going wild as she lunged towards him, slipped back and forth as she did to evade his aim. The woman closed the distance in moments, and she tore the gun from his hands with startling strength before shattering it over her knees. Anton had a few moments to marvel before her hands were clapped around his neck. He tried and failed to scream as she twisted his head off. Oh, manpower minus 20, gain base support plus 1. Wonder who the hell this is now. Okay, franchising drive is finished. Now let me explain something a little to you about the executives. Our capital here, Vault-Tec is not actually the corporate vault that they started in. My understanding is, according to the law, that actually their vault is here in loss. Now, to continue whichever which way you want to play the game with the executives, with choosing between power armor or deathclaws or their war goals, you need to take loss back. And that is done by one of these two ways. If the Unity of Austin owns Loss and the Gladiator Pits and we have enough money, we can basically buy it from them and get the corporate vault back that way. The other way is by getting claims and a war goal on their core territories. The difference is this can be done after 2277, and this one you have to wait until 2278. Luckily, it is the third week of 2278, so this one is available. So let's see what happens in 30 days. And this is why I said put every single unit you have on this line, because when you do a claim, the AI, my understanding of the way it works is it takes into account how many people you have there, and if you have a lot, then they normally give in. If they don't give in and they want to fight, it's not a problem because they're currently at war with City of Austin and the Ironmongers, so I will be able to take them out fairly quick and easy, or at least I hope so, but ideally I want it just quick and painless and then will just give me loss. That's actually what I want. And I've got me some flamethrowers, thank you very much. Now, I was a bit disappointed that I hadn't used the other 75% to researching something like this to unlock it, because they normally take longer than the passive boost, until I noticed here at the bottom, it also affects siege agents. So even though I'm not going to build it just yet, I'm going to research siege agents, and of course we need to put these flamethrowers into production. Simple circuitry unlocked. Let's go for some radio detection, some of that. Then we have some political power. Nothing I want to spend on here, apart from changing my officer training and then later on my army training, but I don't want to do that right now. Instead, I am going to go find me an officer to boost so we can have a look at what they get. So he's got 2 here. Let's add some citations. So what do we get? Bonusman entrenched, more HP, more defense, more recovery rate. Nothing for breakthrough, nothing for organization. That sucks. Okay, I'm going to go for division defense, and then I'm going to go for more HP. We'll get those ones. Okay. Don't have enough anymore, but next time I need a unit leader, because I've used all mine up, because I now have my first unit of the Black Plague, my almost complete template. Really, I must say, these insects, they are just pumping out like it is absolutely brilliant how fast my my divisions are actually increasing. Okay, slight change of plan here. I was hoping to get a demand on loss. Seems that I don't. So I'm coming home again is done. It's giving me that. So originally I was going to say, hey, we've got a demand. let's wait, because it takes no more than 10 days, find out what happens. But I'm going to go to war now. So instead, I'm going to get stargazers here. The stargazers were not long for this world, too prone to looking up at to see what was coming. Now that they've gone over, we can claim a few of the other bits of tech that are lying around and make use of it ourselves. 75% research bonus to electronics technology. That's going to be quite helpful. Now, let's go to war, I guess. Declare war. Thought so. I'm going to war with everybody, so I've now joined in with them. Luckily, I've got everybody ready. So, let's see how long this takes, since they have very little massed up against me. But this will be a good test of how my units, my incomplete templates, actually face up against Super Mutants. Oh, and the focusing rate is done, so now my laser weapon's a little bit better. Very tempted to take this now, but I don't think I will. Instead, I'm going to go for guerrilla tactics over here for a bit more breakthrough. Yeah, the Stargazers is finished. Let's move on to the Macellero Descalation. Okay, that one. The Macellero are particularly ornery, and trying to get rid of them isn't worth the caps or the interns. If we offer them some more generous terms for franchising, taking less of a cut in exchange for help on raids, we should be able to come to an understanding. And okay, so the Macellero branch gives me 10% more night attack. That's good. Don't need this, but I can also get 5% raid attack bonus as well. That's going to take 30 days. Nothing special about this attack, just busy grinding on. But I must mention these insects are okay, but only when used in like large numbers against these guys. The Black Plague, however, seems to be doing quite well with their better stats. And, of course, everybody else is just doing quite well. Ooh, I've got something over here. What's this? Ooh, I've got Desert Fox. I can get Improvisation Expert. So I can move faster on land. That would be nice. And what do we have here? Nothing. Okay, I'm going to save this. This is my... Yeah, I've got Router for defense. Got animal... Yeah, I'm going to leave that for now. Alright, I've got me some siege engines. I didn't build them yet. I'm going to go back up top here and let's get focus fire sorted out. Yes, boost my piercing a little bit. That's all I've got to report right now. Okay, this is why I was hoping that they'd just give me loss, because now it's been 60 days that I could have been doing something else, but I'm busy fighting this war. But this deceleration one is done. Now let's just finish off. Actually, don't get anything from summers that's actually any good. What else is there? Oh, let's go for here. Yes, let's go for theorizing super security. The American military was at the cutting edge of advancements in warfare before the bombs dropped. If we could recover and integrate some of their technology and manuals, we could place our best performing security members into unstoppable elite units. Yes, I have read that before, but it got cancelled, so I'm just reading it again. Start that off, and from any luck, because they're pushing quite hard here, maybe we can actually finish this war off quite quickly. Public projects is finished. Let's get me some standardized tools. There we go. Okay, well, some good news is the matrons are out of it, so definite gap between you and some of Shale's guys are now not getting supplied, so that's some good news. Radio detection is done, so now I get to work on... Normally I would continue here. Actually, I am going to continue here. Complicated circuitry for more research. Thank you very much. I know I have some political power here. Not spending it right now. Okay, at long last, this war's over. It took a lot longer than it should have. I am only going to take what I actually have claims on. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, do I have any claims here? No, and no. And definitely don't have anything on Shell's army. Okay. Yep, leaving it as that. Let's submit our demands and then let's just pass a few times. Make sure everything gets taken. Okay. Yes. All done and dusted. Let's just go 1, 2, 3. Confirm and exit. Okay, so now we're actually finally at the point where we can actually carry on. And what's this one for? Decisions. Invest. No and no. Okay. I'm shaving up. Oh, I can actually take citizen care package. Why haven't I taken that? And that must get turned on too. Can't believe that wasn't turned on. Okay. Now once this is over in 2 days, we can actually, let's just run it. Yeah, that's been bypassed. Brilliant. My troops can come back. I want to put them where? Okay. First of all, you guys need to go on the defensive. There. The victory points. Then we'll do there and there. And you check orders. And I'm building bunkers there. So that's that. Okay. So that's where they're going to go. I think the next person I'm actually going to fight, but it's going to be quite a while, is going to be Twin Mothers. Why aren't you guys doing anything?
Man, I gotta cut back on that buff out.
Set you up, and then I can see.
What do you need? I think I need a fix.
Why you aren't this? That should be there. Okay. There. That's the problem there. They're all sucked onto that. Okay. What do we have? Your decisions. No, we're not doing any raids. We're trying to be civilized, not freaking raiders. Okay. So that one has been bypassed. Yes. Not going to do that now, because now we're going to be all about the deathclaws in, what, a day? Yes, a day. Let's roll this some more. Finally. Okay. First of all, a new generation of security. While conflict resolution is an important skill according to the Overseer's Manual, some folks up top just aren't willing to listen to us. So if we have to keep fighting, maybe we need to keep the best of our resources into super security teams. Ooh. So power armor is the pinnacle of conflict after compromise. Research bonus towards power armor, okay. Special forces armor, it's the same thing, but we're definitely using special forces kit. What's wrong with original security outfits? The actual riot control gear. And every security team is super. Oh, I'm definitely taking this. 2 1 year. Yes. So I'm going to get 2 research bonuses, 1 year plus 33%. Yes. Definitely taking that one. And now we can move on to getting our deathclaws. So first of all, I'm going to do this so I can actually start making them. So better beast underground. If you want this power armor one, if you are interested, doesn't actually give you new power armor except for this Edison one at the end. It just keeps on boosting your Vault-Tec power armor, makes those stats even better. But better beast underground. The FEV research wing is in bad shape, but we found one lab still partially intact. Luckily for us, it was the lab researching deathclaws, and not the one that was trying to weaponize wasps. Cazadors. That probably would have gotten out of hand. Definitely did. 25 army experience and a research bonus for agriculture. Okay. Alright, focus fire is done, so I'm going to naturally move on to upgrading my anti-tank rifles to my rocket launchers. There we go, and 2 days until guerrilla tactics is done. Let's just run that through. And I should be able to take some nice... Yep, here we go. Okay, so it affects everything in infantry there. Infantry weapons. Let's research that. And actually, So I'm going to hang on to my power armor because some of these places are looking very close to being a cord. So I'm going to keep my political power exactly where it is. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. A better beast underground. So now claws out. We've managed to get our deathclaw research back online, and the first subjects are already ready to go on field test. We'll need to find someone to test them on. So I'm going to get technologies for young deathclaws, alpha deathclaws, and deathclaw hatching, which is what I need to start my deathclaws. At long last, claws are out. That has given me deathclaw hatching, alphas, and young deathclaws. Now, I'm not going to end it right here. I want to finish off all this. Does this one? Yes. All these boosts for the deathclaws before we end this video. So, edible insects next. One can't deny insects have turned out to be one of the greatest protein sources of the future. We could turn some of our research on rad bugs towards larger, more docile specimens fit for livestock. Modify the future of evolution by 10% more defense and 5% more reliability. Start that off. Now I've got a massive bunch of arm experience again. It's time to set these guys up. I'm just actually going to call these guys Deathclaw Alphas. It's just a simpler name. Okay, so we are going to go for a full-on group of alphas. That's it. Just like power armor, there are 2.5 with each. The only thing I'm going to add onto them, because their piercing and all that is pretty damn good, is some air attack. Because for Deathclaws, it does lower your organization, but without it, the air attack is 0. And I do not want these guys taken out. So we're going to make them elite. We're going to save that. And we're going to... Oh, I can't train. I need to get more. I need to get increase my special forces cap. Okay. Let me... While I'm here... That one's 20 width. That's fine. Can't change that. I can change this. Okay. Let's add in combined arms. And some infantry. Make up my... I don't know if I can afford this manpower wise, but that's everything nice and boosted. Add on some power. Now I'm going to leave power armor for later. So I want to add power armor to these guys and my Black Plague to give them a bit of armor boost, and maybe even my Deathclaw Alphas. We'll have to have a see. Okay, so we save that for now. I'm probably going to lose all my manpower, but it is what it is. I need to start putting this stuff into production. So let's have a look at what we got here. So I'm not going to do that now. Young Deathclaws. So this is 3 times as much as the feed. Okay, so let's go put everything down to 1 here, because this is not my priority now. It's getting this. So for every 1 I put on feed, I need to put 3 on Deathclaw Alphas. That's what I'm thinking here. So let's do that. Let's do that. Take them all the way to the top, maximum priority, so we can have the best Deathclaw army possible. Fortunately, I can't have them as normal troops. So for every it was that way around, right? Yes. Okay. So we add 1, we add 3, we add 1, we add 3. Okay, we're going to keep it like that, producing, and as soon as I can get my damn special forces cap up, then we can start recruiting these guys. Actually, I don't have to wait that long. Where's my research? Standardized tools. Everybody remember standardized tools. Okay, let's boost my research cap here. Oh, I don't have enough. Damn it, blast. Okay. Back here, we're on standardized tools. Let's go. Almost had enough. Okay, standardized tools is gone. My manpower is being a freaking seesaw this entire video. Let's get back onto some agriculture. I'm going to use that bonus for another 500 and another boost to my monthly population. Because this warning is not for insects, it's because I'm short on manpower. Okay, weird. Okay, edible insects done. Now I had to do that so I can do Eye of the Deathclaw. So Eye of the Deathclaw. Carter has managed to actually improve on one of the old home vault designs, finding a way to cure the poor eyesight our Deathclaw suffered from. Their vision benefits can extend to the whole FEV team. So reconnaissance plus 10, land night attack plus 10. Here's what I'm looking for. Special forces minimum capacity plus 20, good. And the production cost goes down by 10%. Soft attack and defense goes up by 10%. Yes, and I can call my second state, that being Hollow Man. That's what I'm saving up my political power for right now. Because Smokey needs his manpower. Oh, I love it. Complicated circuitry is done. So, more radar and another call. No manpower, still 0 right now, but hopefully this will all come back into the green shortly. Oh yes, Eye of the Deathclaw is done. Now, let me get my research boost for my Deathclaws. The Deathclaws have been we've been hatching are a little more stunted up to now. A little extra FEV though, and we're looking at some mean beasties. Can't wait for them to get to work. So this is going to give me a nice event, responsibility, fiscal and otherwise, and 2 research bonuses for Deathclaw husbandry. Start that off, and a third call, White Sands. Yes, this is definitely going well. Now I should have enough so now I can start training my Deathclaws. You go all the way to the top. Yes, and you will spawn there for now. Okay, I can get 3 units out so long, or so far. It's better than nothing. But battling beast units done. Responsibility, fiscal and otherwise. Liesel, Shady, or whatever, a chief accountant stepped up behind McKinley and Carnegie before clearing her throat multiple times. They are currently watching the newest strain of Deathclaw being tested against a group of captive Super Mutants, and each ignored her at first. On the 6th exaggerated sound, McKinley turned around to shout, "What?" Her annoyed expression softened somewhat when she saw Sinead flinch. "Oh, it's you. We bankrupt yet?" The CEO was already glancing back to steal a glimpse of the Deathclaw tearing open the mutant's belly. "Well, no, or probably not. It's hard to say when no one answers any of my ordered requests." McKinley's expression was stony, and Carnegie was ignoring them entirely in favor of cheering on the fight. "Anyway, I'm here to formally request these new giant lizards of Carter be used sparingly, man. They're extremely expensive to breed and feed." "Is that all? Relax, you'll figure it out. It's your job to figure it out. Besides, they're almost too tough to die anyway, so we'll barely need to replace them." McKinley reached under her chair to retrieve a blue jug and handed it to Sinead. "Oh, while you're here, take some Vault Shine. Had the boys set some aside for you. Now sit your ass down to watch the show or get the fuck back to work." "Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." Okay, no special thing there, but we get to carry on with our focuses. 2 left that I want to do. Next one is the Bug Nugget Trade. Research has gone better than expected, and we're going to be practically swimming in bug meat soon. A few of the marketing folks have already suggested we start mass producing for trade. Get event The Glad Hand, 30,000 extra bottle caps, and loss becomes an economic node, which means I will have 1, 2, there will be 3 economic nodes. Brilliant. Oh, and another core, almost forgot to get the Sierra Diablo. There we go. Okay, starting to core things. Manpower still absolutely zip. But, yes. Wait, let me actually get a little bit more. There's common energy weaponry, guys. Remember that? Let's grab that. Plus 22 my special forces cap. Yes. And back to common energy weaponry. There we go. Okay, common energy weaponry done. I'm going to continue on this line so I can take or get the most out of these 1 year boot or reduction in penalty for researching. So I'm going to get that. Then we need to put these guys into production there. Okay, and something that has happened is Kaiser's Legion has cancelled their non-aggression pact with me. So, since Unity of Austin is still at war with the Ironmongers, or are they? No, they've actually stopped. Okay, so I'm going to have to keep my troops along this border here just in case. But any extras I'll be putting, I think I'll definitely be putting here. I have moved my construction of bunkers up as a priority for some extra defenses here. Okay, bug nugget trade done. The glad hand. Timothy Gallio, a veteran security officer, strode down the main street of Steamboat Springs. It was one of the first towns franchised by the executives, and he had been there many times. A few of the civilians sneered at him as past. The sight of Vault armor enough to inspire contempt. Others recognized him, though, and smiled or moved from his path quickly to cause him no trouble. Better for old Gladhand Gallo to have you in his good side was the outlook of those who knew him. Behind him came an odd, colourful cart pulled by Brahmin. Mayor Hanson met Gallo on his porch, exchanging pleasantries before handling the man Steamboat Springs franchising fees. Now, what bit of Vault Circus have ye brought along with you, Tim? Gallo turned to look back at the cart. Oh, that. Yours product, you see. Bug nuggets. The mayor raised an eyebrow in response. Oh, I know the name. It's a bit polarizing. They are legit, though. Real, big, real filling and not stuffed with old wood shavings. We've got enough now to trade them with anyone interested. Try one before we leave. On me, you know I wouldn't steer you wrong, Harold. Guess it couldn't hurt much. Okay, nothing there. But people now eating bugs for breakfast, I guess. And last we have packed in thick. Radbugs being bigger isn't good for their meat, but on the battlefield. Carter's confident she's cracked the code on breeding a new stable and mean breed. Add technology, intermediate creatures tech, and then we get a 50% research bonus for insect husbandry. And that will be the last focus for this video. So let's get it over and done with. Yeah, well, that goes to show just how deep in the red I was with manpower. I got 500 for free. Almost half of it was taken. But at least I'm hopefully in the green for a while now. But luckily, this is sophisticated tech. So I can actually continue on and get some more. Another 500. Another boost in my monthly population. It's going to take 194 days though. But it's important. Okay, so I'm very glad I did take automated harvesting because manpower's got back down to 0. I did core another state and I have restarted military signing bonus for some more manpower. So that's nice. Decimetric radar's done. Let's carry on with what's the quickest here. Long range radio. Let's get that out the way. Oh, and I have moved my operative here to Los. As you can see, it's the only place I actually have any kind of real resistance right now. Compliance is getting nice and high. I should be able to call the pass quite soon. I just need more political power. So that worked out quite nicely. Packed in thick is finished. That is the last focus to boost my deathclaws. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to produce any yet. They are almost out. But we'll have to see what they can do in the next video. So yes, that's it for now. Next video is going to concentrate on my war goals. We're going to go up against Twin Mothers. We're going to take on the Sundogs, a whole bunch of Oklahoma here. And I think I'm going to end off with taking on Texas over here, amongst some others. So please be sure to tune in for that. But for now, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.